I built my first e-commerce business while working full-time, and that exact same business now generates me over £300,000 a year on Shopify. And the truth is, I probably couldn't have and wouldn't have done it without having a job acting as like a juxtaposition life to actually make me work as hard as possible to get out of the job. Plus, I needed the consistent income from that job to fund me setting up the business and the security to give me the confidence to actually do it. You don't need to quit your job to start an e-commerce business, and really, you shouldn't even be thinking that way at all. And if you are, this is the reality check that you need, plus the reassurance to know that you should be starting this right now. I want to start by talking about the thing that nobody talks about, and that is cash flow. Because here's the reality, right? When you start a business, any business, there is a period of time at the beginning where money is going out before it is coming in. You are testing products, running ads, paying for all these different tools, building a website, and none of that is free. And none of it gives you a return straight away. So imagine doing all of that without a consistent income behind you. Imagine trying to fund your third ad campaign when you've only got a couple of £100 left and no job to support it. That pressure alone would make most people give up. And that's exactly why so many people in this space do, because they quit their job before they're ready. They start this countdown clock running in the background in the head every single day, and every week that passes without consistent sales is a week closer to having to go and find another job. And that pressure makes you make bad decisions. You rush things that need time. You abandon strategies before they've even had chance to work. You take shortcuts that end up costing you more in the long run. I have seen this happen too many times. People who have just ditched their job full of excitement and belief, and 6 months later, they're back in employment because they didn't give themselves the runway that they needed to actually figure it out. And your job is that runway, and right now you need it. I want to talk to you about the way you need to start thinking about your job, because this is the mindset shift that changes absolutely everything. Most people walk into work every single day thinking of their job as their life. It's their income, it's their security, it's how they define themselves. And because of that, it feels like a cage. It feels like that is the thing that's holding them back, and they resent that job as a result. And I get it. I totally felt that too for a very, very long time. But I need you to completely flip that, because from this moment, your job is temporary and it is a cash injection. It is a stepping stone, and it is nothing more than that. That's all it is. It's the thing that is funding the life that you are building right now. And once that life is built, you're not going to need it anymore. But right now, you do need it. And the sooner you make peace with that, the more powerful it becomes. So from Monday, I want you to stop going into work thinking, oh, I hate this, I need to get out, I hate my boss, and start going into work thinking, this is funding my exit. Because every shift you do, every paycheck that lands in your bank, that is money that is going directly into the thing that you are building. That is your business getting stronger. That is your freedom getting closer. And that reframe alone will change everything. Now, here's the bit that some people are absolutely going to blindly disagree with me on, but that's fine. I'm going to say it anyway. When you are building a business on the side of your job, my honest advice is to do the bare minimum at work that you can get away with. And before you come at me in the comments, let me be really clear about what I mean by that. I don't mean be unprofessional. I don't mean put your job at risk. I don't mean letting people down or doing anything that could get you in trouble, because as we have established, you need that income and you need to protect it. So what I mean is, stop going above and beyond for someone else's business when you need to be saving that energy for your own. Stop staying late. Stop going in early when you don't have to. Stop volunteering for extra projects, extra responsibility for a wage that isn't going to change. Turn up, do your job properly, be professional and reliable, and then go home, because when you get home, that's where your real work is going to start. Your best brain, your energy, your creativity, focus, that all needs to go into your business, not into someone else's. You have got a finite amount of that every single day, and you get to decide where that goes. I used to watch people at work literally running themselves into the ground, staying hours after their shift, giving everything they had, because that place was like their identity. And I used to watch this happen, and I used to think, imagine if that energy went into something that was actually theirs. Imagine what they could build. Protect your energy. Your job gets what it pays you for, and your business is going to get everything else. Now, let me tell you what actually happens when the money starts coming in, because this is the part that nobody really prepares you for, and genuinely, it surprised me when it happened. So I was working at M&S, same store as my dad, 37 and a half hours a week. Every single hour I was not there, I was building my e-commerce business. I was doing product research, having supplier conversations, building my website, marketing, content, every evening, every spare moment I had every single day. And I'm not gonna lie, there was a period that was absolutely exhausting, genuinely knackering, living a double life with one foot in my current reality that I didn't love and one foot in a dream that I was building. And then something happens that I didn't expect at that time. And the money started coming in very slowly at first, but then consistently, and everything about my job changed. Not the job itself, the job was the exact same. I was still wiping down tables and taking customer orders, but all of a sudden my whole life wasn't hanging on my M&S payslip anymore. I could leave at any time, and if it disappeared tomorrow, I knew I'd be okay. I wasn't one redundancy letter away from panic. I wasn't one bad month away from being destitute. I was okay. And when that pressure disappears from something, when you're no longer relying on it, literally for your survival, you actually start to enjoy it. Or at the very least, you stop resenting it. I made £60,000 in my business and still didn't leave my minimum wage job. I used to sit at my laptop in the evenings, knowing the business was covering at least my wage every single month, and then going to work the next day, mainly to socialise, as silly as that seems, because that is genuinely what it became. I was no longer there because I had to be. I was there because I wanted to see people, because I didn't have time to go out and socialise while I was setting up my business. So work literally became my social time. I was chatting more to customers than I literally ever had before, genuinely just loving the interactions that I was having, because the grudge I had for that place was gone. And as a result, the resentment was gone. And the anxiety of being one mistake away from losing everything was gone, because I had my control back. And you know what's so funny about this story? I came across an interview with Ben Francis not long after. Ben Francis is the founder of Gymshark. He's the UK's youngest billionaire. And he said something that completely stopped me in my tracks. He admitted on an interview that he was making £20,000 a month from Gymshark and was still delivering pizzas for Pizza Hut. He was doing customer service emails on his phone between pizza drops, £20,000 a month, and still delivering pizzas. Honestly, I was just so taken aback when I heard that, because for years I thought my dedication to stay at M&S longer than I should have done was unusual. But literally, the UK's youngest billionaire did the exact same thing, but just with pizzas rather than a Marks and Spencer's uniform. And that interview validated something. The most successful people do not burn bridges with anybody. They build the next bridge first, and then they cross it. So when do you actually leave? Because I know that's the question that's coming. And the honest answer is you will know, because it will no longer feel like an escape. It will feel like outgrowing. I was getting paid £722 a month from work and topping myself up from my own business, £2,000 a month. That was more combined than I had ever earned. And I still stayed, not because I had to, but because I genuinely started to love it once it stopped being my lifeline. And the day I finally left, it wasn't dramatic. It wasn't the big fantasy that I'd spent years imagining, saying, I'm out, guys, see you all later. It was just time, and the business needed more of me than my job would allow. My hours had become way too precious. I'd just outgrown it. I didn't escape it. I outgrew it. And I didn't leave because I could. I left because I had to, because I'd built something so significant that staying became impossible. And that is the goal. Not get out as soon as you can, but build something so big that staying becomes impossible. I see so many people waiting until they have to leave before they start building the side hustle, waiting for the pressure and the job to get bad enough, waiting for some manager to push them out. By then, they've already wasted years of their time. You don't have to quit your job at the start. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't even have to be ready. You just have to begin, because the moment that first payment lands from something you have built yourself, everything changes. Not just the money, but the way you walk into work on Monday morning, the way that you sit in that meeting, the way that you smile at your manager across the desk, knowing something that they don't. That feeling is more than available for you, and it is so much closer than you think. I'm going to link my own free 100k e-com training below. Everything you need to start building right now alongside whatever job it is that you're doing. No big dramatic life changes, just a plan and a start for you. And lastly, I'm going to leave you with this because I want to be super transparent. I am very, very new to YouTube, and this is a startup channel. And I'm not using this to tell you all the things that you want to hear for the sake of likes and views, for an algorithm, but I have been a full-time entrepreneur for the last 5 years. So I know this inside out, and I want to use this channel to give you guys as much valuable information as I can possibly fathom up in my brain out of all of my experience. So all I ask is that you indicate to me in some way or another that this video has been useful, because that is going to tell me that you want me to keep creating them. So if you could subscribe to the channel, drop me a like, drop me a comment below the video. I literally read and reply to every single one. So that will be very, very helpful. Thank you very much, guys. I will see you on the next one.